Hi everybody, welcome to the SA Sports Show. I hope you can stay with us for the next hour. We have got plenty to talk about. We've got golf coming up, the Southern Footy League. We have got plenty coming up on the show. As always, co-host Barry Curtin joins me. Baz, how are you?
Terrific, mate. Going well.
All right, let's get through a couple of quick ones because it seems like so long ago now. Thursday night, Port up against Geelong. Now, I want to ask you this. Most people said this was just a fantastic game of footy.
Man, good game.
Then it finished and, of course, there's a big result.
Yeah.
In the gap and the final score.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I'm listening to Talkback Radio, I'm reading the paper the next day, and a lot of the Port Adelaide fans, mate, are not happy with Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
Yet one group of people saying it was a great game of footy,
Yeah.
got another group saying, oh, the coach has to go, we're short of players, it's no good.
Yeah.
What's going on?
No. I think that's just expectation. There's the passion of the Port Adelaide supporter. Port Adelaide's problem against Geelong was simple, very simple, and I think the coach hit the nail on the head after the game. It was turning the ball over. Something that they'd ironed out of their game a lot in the last year and a bit, came back to haunt them again against the Cats. And they turned it over quite a bit. Look at the two sides. Look at Geelong, a very good side. And they get 5 absolute guns back on the Thursday night from either suspension or injury or whatever. Dangerfield, one of them. The big fella, Bliffax. And really, really good players. Where Port lose players. So they've still got blokes sitting in the grandstand. I wouldn't be worried. It's June. I'm not worried one little bit about Port Adelaide. They're sitting 5th. They got the opportunity this weekend when they play the Gold Coast, while the other teams in and around them are playing each other, and a lot of teams have got to bye. So here's a chance to put a gap again. Lose this weekend, I might not be too happy, but I think you're going to find a lot of Port supporters would be a little bit angry, only because of the passion, because if they beat Geelong on Thursday night, they're in there. They're right in there and clear and got clear air ahead of them.
Sure.
But now there's still that little if, because Bulldogs beat them, Brisbane beat them, Geelong beat them. But mate, it's June. For crying out loud.
Pretty sure the grand final doesn't get one in June, does it?
No, not many.
All right, and we've got to congratulate the Crows, mate. It was a terrific comeback from them over St Kilda by 6 points. There's an incident in the game. Is it a collision or is it a bump? Oh, that's the first question. Of course, we're talking about David McKay on Hunter Clark's. Now, I'm not sure where the AFL is going to go with this one because, and I've said this to you before, it looks like the angle of the camera is going to determine it. So if you look from this angle coming on here, it looks like he's bumped and broken his jaw. Look at this angle here and you say, oh, gee, I'm not sure. This angle here, you can see Mackay's got eyes for the ball and he's nearly got his hands on the ball, and then there's contact. So what is it? Is it a collision or a bump?
When I first saw it,
so sorry, if it's a collision, he gets nothing. If it's a bump, he's gone. He's looking at 3 right now. Before you go any further, was it a collision or a bump?
I think it was a collision.
That
was my first thought. I thought it was a great attack on the ball. That's what I thought. Wow, I've gone, wow, that's a big bump. But I said bump.
Yes.
That's a big bump because he dropped the shoulder at that last minute, which you do anyway to protect yourself. You're going to do that. You're going to tense up, boom, drop the shoulder. I think he's going to be stiff. That's what I think. I think he might get games purely because Hunter Clark left the ground and now he's got 6 to 8 weeks on the sidelines with multiple fractures. That's the... See, they're going to bring that up. Multiple fractures of the jaw, 6 to 8 weeks.
You know, though, I talked to boxers about this, and you have too, Baz. You know, we've been around the boxers enough where they say there's a sweet spot where you hit it and it just caves in. You get it just above that, nothing, just below that, nothing. So you've got to bear that in mind. But the AFL are going to allege that he engaged in rough conduct that was unreasonable in the circumstances.
I don't think that's correct.
No, I agree.
I don't think that's correct. I think that he did what his coach would expect him to do. That's what I think he did.
And again, I reckon sometimes you've got to take into account the player that did it as well. I mean, he's got an impeccable record for not being that type of...
that's right. His attack on the ball was first class, in my opinion. The only issue I had with that game was the free kick paid to Tilthorpe in the dying minutes. The free kick right on the line, on the goal line, where the umpire said to Dougal Howard, you stopped him trying to mark the ball. And Dougal Howard said, well, I'm a full-back, mate. That's my job. That's my job.
That's a pretty good argument,
well, it was the worst free kick. I think it's the worst free kick of the year, that one. I sat there, I was going, what? Surely no. I looked up the umpire, and I'll be keen to see whether he's still umpiring this weekend, because when I looked at it, and a million other people, and I'm surprised our journos didn't say anything about it. I thought, well, hang on a minute. Well, I know why, but you know, because you're talking about 3 journos who I read who are all red hot Crows blokes who are not going to say anything about it. But boy, oh boy, you look at it, you go, come on, no, you cannot pay that.
Well, just before we get going and we get over to the news, mate, I saw a miracle on the weekend.
A miracle.
Scott Pendlebury went to the umpire and said, "You got that one wrong."
Yeah.
The umpire said, "You know what? You're right. I did," and changed it. And I thought, absolutely,
yes, he did.
Fantastic for the umpire to go, because you don't see it.
Yeah.
You know, often I reckon the umps, I know what you've spoken, they know they've got it wrong, but they can't say anything. This guy went, "No, actually, I reckon I did get it wrong."
Yeah, he did.
And I did. And there was a bit of fuss made about it. I thought it was just a great moment. And it was Scott Pendlebury, of course. It had been someone else, but we know Scott's an unbelievable player.
I did see that.
It was a terrific moment.
Out of bounds on the full where it hit him in the stomach, I think. But the boundary umpire paid the out on the full. Because even I went, oh, hang on, mate. How could you see that? Because he was behind him at the time. Yeah.
All right, we need to get over to Jamie to see what's happening with the sporting news. Jamie?
Thanks, guys. I'm Jamie, and I'll be taking you through SA Sports Show's weekly wrap-up of local news. Last Saturday, we saw the Adelaide Thunderbirds come a bit too close for comfort with the New South Wales Swifts. Held at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, the Birds claimed the win with a 58-53 point victory. In her 51 minutes on the court, Shadeen van der Merwe acquired 4 gains, 4 intercepts, 1 deflection and 1 pickup, proving herself to be a force to be reckoned with. This stunning performance from the team comes with a new principal partnership with Subway, a globally recognised food chain. The CEO of Netball SA, Bronwyn Clyer, says that the 2-year deal is a fantastic prospect for netball in South Australia. The partnership will strengthen Netball SA's sustainability, as well as the overall growth and operation of local teams, clubs and tournaments. The Thunderbirds will take on the Giants this Sunday at Ken Rosewall Arena. In the SANFL, the Eagles smashed Port Adelaide last Saturday by a massive 68-point margin. With even scores late into the second quarter, Woodville West Torrens managed to storm ahead, claiming a 41-109 point standing by the end of the match. Jack Hayes proved to be an effective and versatile star player, closing out the game with 3 goals, 28 possessions, 10 marks and 8 hitouts. The Eagles proved to be the superior Birds, leaving the Magpies in the dust and putting an end to their 4-match winning streak. Although this coming weekend is a bye for the Eagles, Port will have a chance to redeem themselves on Sunday when they'll face off against Sturt at Alberton Oval. In more football news, after Saturday evening's controversial bump from Adelaide midfielder David Mackey onto St Kilda's Hunter Clark, the Tribunal are going to be settling the punishment. After accelerating quickly to contest the ball, Mackey's hit ended up actually breaking Clark's jaw, which will leave him sidelined for 6 to 8 weeks. While some spectators say that the incident was a fair contest for the ball, others claim that the act was not sportsmanlike. 32-year-old Mackey is a veteran player for the Crows and is amongst the list of players that have played in over 200 games for Adelaide. Although he has been around for a while, the bump leaves him at a risk of copping a ban. I guess we'll see what the Tribunal has to say. Adelaide United have cemented themselves a spot in the A-League semi-final after crucial plays by Tommy Zurich in their match against Brisbane Roar. United entered the game without their forward players Craig Goodwin and Kusini Yengi, who had injured themselves during training. Zurich managed to score his first goal in the 15th minute, eventually following it up with another with the help of Ryan Kitto. Kitto's pass on the halfway line enabled Zurich to dribble for 40 metres, outpacing Brisbane's stopper, Tom Alfred. Their goalkeeper, Jamie Young, unfortunately could not keep the ball out of the goal. After surviving a heated second half against the Roar, the Reds closed out the game 2-1, finding themselves a step closer to the grand final. That's all I've got for you this week. Be sure to stick around because we've got plenty more on the way. I'm Jamie Tenikoff and we'll be right back after the break.